Greetings, Kianga Janaki here, and today I'm going to show you 2 ways to sew cowrie shells onto your art and wearables. First of all, you need to purchase the cowrie shells like these you see here with the backs cut off. These cowrie shells still have the backs on, and they don't lay as flat when you're trying to sew them. You see how they kind of wobble a bit. So you want to purchase the cowrie shells with the backs cut off so they lay flat on the surface that you're trying to add them to, right? You can purchase your cowrie shells from Kianga Art at kiangaart.com. One of the ways that you can have your cowrie shells on your art is, as you see here, I stitched them down flat. You can see again here, stitched down flat, and here. That means it's not going to move around. It's going to lay there. The other way that I attach them to my artwork is to sew them so that they dangle a little bit, like on this bag that I created. So I stitched them close to the edge so they just kind of hang off. So I'm going to show you how to sew them on both ways. The first thing you're going to need is some strong thread. What I like to use is Wonderful Pearl number 8 thread for sewing, and a needle with a large eye. So you're going to knot the edge, knot the end of the thread like so, and I've knotted this a couple times so you can see that the knot is pretty big. And then you decide where you want to place it. So say I want to place that cowrie shell here. I'm going to bring the needle through the back of the fabric and the top of the cowrie shell, like here, like you see here. I'm going to pull it all the way through, and then I'm going to loop it back through the fabric, back to the other side, and pull. Okay? That's one time. I usually do it this way at least 3 different times of me bringing the fabric, bringing the needle through and pulling, making it nice and tight and secure, back through again and pull. One more time, through, pull, and through, and pull. Now if I wanted it to dangle like you see here, I would stop there. But for this particular piece, I don't want it to dangle. So what I'm going to do with my next stitch is bring it through the same loop, but this time when I pull it, I'm going to pull it all the way down to the bottom of the shell, right? To the bottom of the shell, and then bring it through and pull. And that's going to pull the shell down flat. I'm going to do that 3 times also. Going back up to the top of the shell, pulling the needle through, bringing the thread down to the bottom of the shell, and bringing the needle through and pulling it. Okay? I'm going to do it 2 more times. I like to make sure that it's nice and strong. And I pull the thread as tight as I can get it, bringing it down and through. One more time. One more time for good measure. Up, through the top of the shell, and down to the bottom of the shell, and through the fabric. And pull. Uh-oh, got it caught there. So let me just take it through. Take it back through. Yep, and there we go. And it pulls through. Now I'm going to knot it on the back. So I'm going to turn the fabric over like so. And you can see where I've been stitching. And I'm going to just pick up a little bit of the fabric, pull the thread through till I have a last little loop, like so. Bring my needle through the loop and pull. And I'm going to do it again. Just pick up a little bit of the thread, a little bit of the fabric, pull it through, bring it through the loop, and that knots it. That was 2 knots. I'm going to go back up to the top with my last knot, bringing it through the threads that I made, pulling it, right? Going to bring it through one more time, pull it till I have that little loop left. I'm going to bring the needle through and knot it. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut it. When I turn it back over, it's going to be laying nice and flat the way I want it, and it's securely on here. Now if I want the cowrie shells to dangle, then I'm going to place the cowrie shell near the edge of my fabric. Oh, this is a bubble one. Let's get us a flat one. I'm going to place my cowrie shell near the bottom of my fabric so that some of the shell is going to hang off. I got to make a knot again like I did for the first shell. I'm going to make 2, maybe 3 knots to make it big enough so it's not going to come back through. And I'm going to do it the same way I did with the first one. So I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to bring the needle through the back of the top of the shell, like here. I'm going to pull the thread through, and then I'm going to push it back through the fabric and pull, making sure that it's right there in the center, right? I've pulled it as tight as it can go. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. This is the second time. Okay. And the third time. And through. And I'm just going to go one more time for good measure. So I'm going through the back of the fabric, coming through the shell from behind, pulling it back through the fabric again, and pull, right? I'm going to flip it over. You can see the string from the first knot that I did. I'm going to snip that extra close to the knot. And then I'm going to bring the needle through the fabric. Pick up a little bit of the fabric, pull, and then bring the needle back through that final loop and pull. That makes a knot. I'm going to do it again. Knot number 2. One more time. Knot number 3. And now I'm going to cut off the extra close to the knot. And there you have it. So now I have a shell that is dangling at the edge of my garment. And here I have a shell that is laying flat and firm on the garment. So there you have it. It's pretty easy. If you need cowrie shells, you can order your shells from KiongaArt.com. Just check on my website, go to the category of cowrie shells and African beads. I also sell African beads, and you sew them on the same way. Lay it down. Okay, and I'll find my needle and thread. Lay it down. I didn't put a knot on it because I'm just going to kind of go through the motions, right? Pull it. Pull the thread through, and then go through the bead, the hole in the bead, and then back through. Same way you did with the cowrie shell. And then you're going to do it again, coming back through, right? Pulling it nice and tight, bringing it through again. And I would say do this at least 5 times, and then your bead is secure too. That's it. Thank you for listening. Peace.